The Quranly app. Subscription cheaper than Netflix, encouraging Quran reading, modern, engaging and fun. Download it today.
Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. At a time when the Muslim majority country leaders are burying their head in the sand whilst witnessing a genocide, a televised genocide, we have non-Muslim countries and leaders taking a step forward.
What is happening in Gaza Strip with the Palestinian people does not exist at any other historical moment. In fact, it existed when Hitler decided to kill the Jews.
What he says, you're probably thinking, is standard. Yeah, it's stuff that we say all the time. It's the reality. Well, of course it is. But the fact that a world leader has said it, he is influential, he is on a world stage. They don't care about what you and me say as much as they do leaders. They have literally blown a fuse. Yeah, they are triggered to the max. Why? Because this guy has dared to challenge them on a public platform. They went full on Karen mode, have labeled him as an anti-Semite, and get this, a Holocaust denier. The irony of this, because let's analyze what he said. Number one, he called it what it is. Yeah, he called it a genocide. Number two, he gave a frank description of the reality of what is actually taking place, which is an army, soldiers versus women and children. And number three, he compared it with what Adolf Hitler did, of course, against the Jewish community. He was exercising his freedom of speech, but apparently him acknowledging what happened to the Jews, apparently that's akin to denying the Holocaust. I don't know how you square this circle, but this is something Israel is a master at. And this is a story that you won't be hearing to the extent that I'm going to cover it. Why? Because it doesn't meet the objectives of the West. Because the UN, of course, tried to pass another resolution, was that of the United States of America, who vetoed it, and the UK, they abstained. But Brazil, it's very interesting because Brazil is a part of BRICS. Yeah, the BRICS countries. You got Brazil, you have Russia, you got India, China and South Africa. Now these are emerging economies that have banded together and they are a threat to Western hegemony and they are doing really well. You've got other countries that want to join them like Saudi Arabia, Iran and the likes. Yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is Brazil has leverage. Yeah, South Africa has leverage. These are BRICS countries. Now coming to the point, the fact that they called him a Holocaust denier. Here he is in 2010 visiting the Holocaust Museum. And then here he is talking and saying stuff like never again and what happened was terrible. Really does sound like a Holocaust denier, doesn't he? Now Israel also responded by saying he is not welcome in our country until he withdraws his statements. Now the president of Brazil, the OG that he is, he went a step forward. He withdrew the Brazilian ambassador that was in Israel and he has doubled down on his point. Not only that, other South American countries have defended him as well. Yeah, you've got the Bolivian president, Lula, who also called it a United States and Israeli genocide. That's what he did. And you had the ex-president of Bolivia also chiming in and giving him support. President of Colombia, Pedro, he also was mentioning how it is a genocide and calling Israeli actions cowardly. And you had the president of Cuba, Miguel Diaz, and he was saying that the leader of Brazil will be on the right side of history. And of course you've got the stooges in US, like you got the United States Holocaust Museum who called him anti-Semitic. What a joke. And emphasis is of course on the US Holocaust Museum. Oh yes, the ones that for the third time have vetoed a ceasefire. Yeah, of course. So what's interesting here is the support in general that you'll see in South America for Palestine, because those guys have been a victim of the imperialism of America.
Bolivia cut diplomatic ties with Israel. Chile, Colombia, and Honduras recalled their ambassadors. Brazil, Mexico, and Peru demanded a ceasefire. Colombian President Gustavo Petro even compared Israeli attacks on Gaza to the Nazi persecution of Jews.
Bolivia alone has witnessed several coups that have been initiated by the United States. So they are not oblivious to what the US is capable of, and they know the kind of connection US and Israel have and the way the US is backing Israel. So I thought it's definitely worth mentioning this guy and South America. These are countries that we have not heard of a lot, even in this conflict. So it's fantastic to know, to put our hearts at ease when we are looking towards the Muslim majority countries, unfortunately and sadly non-existent, frankly, non-existent, not doing anything that actually matters on a practical scale.
Bolivia estará del lado correcto de la historia, estará del lado de los derechos del pueblo palestino.
Se olvidaron que las mismas razones que se expresan para defender a Zelensky son las mismas razones con las que se debería defender a Palestina.
So may Allah grant hidayah not only to the non-Muslim leaders but also the Muslim leaders, and grant them the tawfiq to do something for their akhirah as well, because I worry for them what will be their state on the Day of Judgment. Let's leave it there, guys. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.